What's up, everybody? Paul Hickey here with Data Driven Design. Now, there's a few questions that you need to ask yourself when looking at your overall digital presence. First of all, is your website built with data? That should be a no-brainer. Have you looked at your Google Analytics, your legacy analytics? Have you looked at your competitive analytics, any kind of heat mapping to see how your website needs to be laid out to be more efficient and effective for your users? The second thing is content management. Is your website built with WordPress? WordPress powers over 35% of the internet. WordPress is the #1 most used content management system in the world. And thirdly, is your website voice enabled? There are over 500 million users of Alexa and Google Assistant. They are getting their information via voice, and your website needs to be voice enabled. Let me show you how. So let's assume that your website, just like one of our clients, profastpitch.com, is built with data. And let's assume that it's built with WordPress. So this is profastpitch.com. Now here is how we voice enabled it. We have a WordPress plugin called the Voice Designer. If your website is not voice enabled, it needs to be. You need to get the Voice Designer at thevoicedesigner.com, download it, or you can add it through the plugins panel in your WordPress site by searching the Voice Designer. Install it and activate it, and then build your own voice app from the back end of your WordPress website to voice enable your website. Here's how we did it with profastpitch.com. We decided of all the top website content based on data, which should we build into the voice enabled experience? In this case, we looked at what is the content that users are most frequently looking at on the website, and then we put that into the main menu of the voice-enabled portion of the site to put on Alexa and Google Assistant, and then we answered all of those questions using the Voice Designer, and we published it to Alexa and Google Assistant. All right, everybody, time to check it out on Alexa and Google Assistant. Alexa, launch National Pro Fast Pitch.
Thanks for choosing National Pro Fast Pitch. Things you can ask include, when is the draft? When is opening day for National Pro Fast Pitch? How many teams are in the league? How can I get a schedule of games? How can I watch classic games? Who is the commissioner of National Pro Fast Pitch?
When is opening day?
The 2020 National Pro Fast Pitch College Draft presented by BSN Sports was scheduled for March 30, 2020. The draft was postponed due to the outbreak of the COVID-19. Subsequently, the NCAA provided for college players to restore a season of eligibility lost due to the cancellation of the 2020 NCAA spring sports season. Based on the assumption that most players will return to their respective colleges for another season, and the anticipation that any alternate decisions will be made individually at a later time, there will be no formal NPF draft in 2020. Thanks for choosing National Pro Fast Pitch. Things you can ask include, when is the draft? When is opening day for National Pro Fast Pitch? How many teams are in the league? How can I get a schedule of games? How can I watch classic games? Who is the commissioner of National Pro Fast Pitch?
Hey Google, talk to Pro Fast Pitch Softball.
Sure, here's Pro Fast Pitch Softball. Thanks for choosing National Pro Fast Pitch. Things you can ask include, when is the draft? When is opening day for National Pro Fast Pitch? How many teams are in the league? How can I get a schedule of games? How can I watch classic games? Who is the commissioner of National Pro Fast Pitch?
How can I watch classic games?
NPF Classic Games can be found on the National Pro Fast Pitch website's homepage at www.profastpitch.com. Follow ProFastPitch, that is at ProFastPitch, on all social media platforms for a schedule of NPF classic games and classic clips. Thanks for choosing National Pro Fast Pitch. Things you can ask include, when is the draft? When is opening day for National Pro Fast Pitch? How many teams are in the league? How can I get a schedule of games? How can I watch classic games? Who is the commissioner of National Pro Fast Pitch?
There you have it. There's the experience on both Alexa and Google Assistant. See how user-friendly that was? Now I have with me the VP of Pro Fast Pitch, Galen Wilson. And Galen and I are going to talk a little bit real quick about why she chose to voice enable her website using the Voice Designer. Galen, thanks for joining us. So we know connecting with the fan base is huge, and one way you've chosen to do that is via voice technology. You now have live voice apps on 2 platforms. Alexa, launch National Pro Fast Pitch on Alexa, and on Google Assistant, hey Google, talk to Pro Fast Pitch Softball. You were able to do that by using the Voice Designer, a WordPress plugin that allows you to easily author and deploy voice apps to Alexa and Google Assistant from the back end of your WordPress website, aka voice enable your website. Tell us about that experience in working with data-driven design.
We were looking for a new, creative, cool, unexpected way to provide information to our fan base. People want information quickly, and they are not pulling up websites to try to navigate for the first time and get frustrated trying to find a simple answer. So we thought voice apps were the way to go. And working with Paul Hickey and his staff at Data Driven Design was really a blessing. They were easy to work with. They were very knowledgeable, very patient, especially with me. They listened to our needs. They asked us good questions, and they just made it easy for us to utilize their services for building voice apps. They made it look easy. I don't know if it was easy for them or not, but as an end user, it looked easy and it felt easy.
Okay, Galen, now for the skeptics out there, how much did this actually cost National Pro Fast Pitch to implement?
Well, I believe when it was all said and done, it probably cost less than $200 and less than 2 hours of time. All we had to do was come up with the initial set of questions and answers. They built the apps or the skills. They loaded them on the site and provided a video tutorial for me to use, and it was really as simple as that and as cost effective as that. And it was money and time well spent, and we would do it all over again.
Great. Thanks so much, Galen. We really appreciate it. There you have it, folks, from the client themselves. And on the website design side of things, with the data-driven website design approach, we helped increase web traffic by 146% and page views by 100%. The analytics show it, that when you use data to redesign your website, you get the results you're looking for. This is how we took a huge website, redesigned it in WordPress, made it way easier for the staff to update the content, and voice enabled it for Alexa and Google Assistant. Folks, the proof is in the data. All websites need to be in WordPress, and all websites need to be voice enabled for Alexa and Google Assistant. If you'd like to learn how to do this with your website, email me directly at paul@datadriven.design. Thanks and have a great day.